I've been in management before. I've managed 2 restaurants. My first one was salary.
Okay.
And was great.
Oh, that's awesome.
The second one was hourly, and but I was by myself. I had a team of 6 people at the first job. It was a Gen Korean barbecue. And
Nice.
this is back when like there was hype on it.
That stuff's good. It's so delicious.
Bro, so right out of high school, I get a job there. I got promoted to management and became the youngest manager in the company's history within 6 months at the age of 18. I was a salary manager. They're
How
like,
sick is that?
They're like, show up in a suit on Monday. And the fucked up part is I was going to ask for my first day off because I had family visiting from San Francisco and I needed that Monday off. And I'm like, can we do Tuesday? And they're like, you want to be a manager or not?
Shit.
Time to go up.
It's like, hey, do you want to be a manager? Oh, yeah, okay.
And I'm like, okay. And I told my dad that. He was pissed.
Oh,
He's like, I told you one favor. And he's like, you go and fuck it up. And I'm like, bro, like management, you know, a salary job. I show up in a suit. If I stayed for 2 years, they would give me a company car.
2 years, that's it?
Yeah.
Shoot.
Company car,
Bro.
gas card, and a private jet once you hit corporate. So you could fly to different locations and open different branches. I became a part of the traveling team, but in California. So I would have to drive out there at my own expense. No, use my own vehicle, but they paid for gas.
Yeah.
It was a great gig.
Dang.
I was immature. So there was this one girl.
Oh.
I was immature. Yeah. So I'm very professional now, but back then I was still kind of a kid. And the management, they would dick around all the time.
Like how so?
Like 3 of the guys, like, you know, they would dick around. Like I'll be bending over and they like, get your head like, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah, the old school.
yeah, old school buffoonery. So this one girl, she was a cashier, and she got promoted to management. I'm happy for her, bro. I'm like, congrats, you're a manager. I talked to the owner, and I was already on track to go to corporate. They're like, keep it at it for like 3-4 years. You'll go corporate. So anyways, going back to this girl, she became a manager. Happy for her. 1 month later, she got promoted to corporate.
Over you?
Over me, bro. And I was they told me stick around for 3 years.
3.
This girl became corporate in a month.
Is it because
So
of who she was or looks or anything? Or
She was all right looking. Like, not my cup of tea, but a lot of, like, she was sleeping around. Everybody was sleeping around there. Everybody. They were, like, f***ing each other. And I was a virgin at the time, and I didn't care. I didn't know. You know, I was about my business.
yeah.
You know, I was really just trying to be the best manager I possibly could. I was 18, had a little bit of a big head. And I found out, and I'm like, well, congratulations.
What about me?
I'm like, no, what'd you do to the vice president? His name was the actual guy, the owner, he was Korean. But the vice president, I'm not going to say his name. I kind of almost did, but not going to say his name.
Bro, I'll have to bleep it.
And you bleep it.
You did.
After
You practically
the
did.
edits. And if I do a really good smile in the edits, just do a little ding, a little star. Yeah, future
G.
dentist vibes.
Yeah, her at work. She moved up. Okay.
She moved up. And I'm like, congratulations. So what'd you do? I said this jokingly. I just slid that in there with a little bit of shade. I'm like, did you give the vice president, some of your bulgogi?
Okay.
And then, bruh, she went on the phone. She walked out.
Oh, that's harassment, my guy. Bro, okay, go ahead.
And then I got a call from the vice president, and he's like, what's going on? And I'm like, what do you mean, sir? Nothing's going on. This is the normal closing. This is what labor was today. I sent so-and-so home early because it was a little bit slower, and I wanted to control everything. And I'm like, we're on set for a closing by 2 a.m. And he's like, no, what's going on? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like,
Bro, you said her name right now? Or
bleep
not?
that. Bleep that part too. I'm getting too into it, bro.
Sorry, go ahead.
Bleep that part.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna make you work on this one. You're gonna be editing for nights.
Oh
You're gonna
my
be
God.
drinking coffee. This guy.
Okay, go ahead.
And she's like, we don't joke around like that. He's like, go home. And I'm like, who's gonna close tonight? He's like, go home. He's like, I'll contact you when I need you. The next day, he calls me in, and he's like, I already have a lawyer set up. So you can choose to resign. If you resign, it was the start of the month. He's like, I'll pay you for this full entire month. It'll be deposited in your account. It was direct deposit. I'll pay you out for the whole month, your salary. and resign willingly. If you don't, I have a lawyer set up and we'll take this into legal. Like, we'll follow through on a legal action. And I was like, this sucks. So I resigned, and collected my last tips because I was still getting tips there too as a manager. That was one of the perks. And I got paid for that week and that month, and it was cool and everything, but it was a learning experience. I'm like, okay, you can't be everybody's friend and you can't joke around with, like, because I thought I was cool with her, especially because she started management and she was a part of our team. But she really didn't like me too because she was like 24, 25 at the time, and I was 18, and I was young, and everyone was like, why is this guy a manager? And it was extremely hard getting respect because I'm telling people who are like in their 40s what to do. You know, I'm suddenly in charge of 136 people. It's really hard. Like, I had the respect of like maybe 20, 30 people, and those were the people that f***ed with me initially before I was promoted. They were actually happy for me.
Okay, yeah.
But everybody
makes
else, hell no, bro. They would try to test me every opportunity they got. And then the second place, it was a Subway I managed in downtown Long Beach. That one, I was the sole manager. I was the branch manager at the time. And I was a dick. I was a stickler at my first management job. And I'm like, I'm going to be everyone's homie at this job. I want to be everybody's friend. I wanted to be that cool manager. You know? And this is, like, people would come late. I wouldn't mark them late. People would call off. I didn't take it as a big deal. I'm like, okay, they called off. We wouldn't meet quota. I would take the blame for it. Everything that went wrong that my employees were doing, I was taking the blame for it at the end of the day. And you know what? They still managed to find a way to talk behind my back, even though I was like their shield, you know?
Yeah.
They hired me as an assistant manager, but within a week, the branch manager quit. And they're like, well, you think you're ready? I'm like, bring it. But I was solely and I had two assistant managers that I hired. One was a pothead, and she'd be gone half the time with different guys. She'd just walk out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this other guy, he was just, he was not much to say about him. So I was running that place by myself. And I was like trying to be everyone's friend, but it was too much paperwork. And I was like just constantly drowning, trying to keep that place open and taking the blame for everything. Even though I was doing my job properly, I was just getting blamed for everything they were doing. And I wasn't like being a hard ass like I was at my other management job. At the other management job, people would come in and it was a Korean barbecue. One time this girl took a bite out of someone else's grill. They was homies though.
Okay.
But I'm like, you can't just get it for free. I'm like, you're an employee here. I'm going to ring you up a tab. That's $22.95. I charged you as a whole meal. Now you can eat as much as you want. She got butthurt. What did she do? She keyed my Volvo. She keyed it all around. And I didn't notice till the next day. And
over a meal? Over $22?
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah. And then the thing is, she got fired too. I managed to get rid of her. But then she slept with a higher up. She came back 3 months later with the cockiest smile on her face. And I'm like, damn, that's how it works?
How crazy is that for, certain things to happen like that, to have people who...
I felt disrespected. I'm like, I got rid of her. And just because, she gave you some of that... you brought her back?
Bro.
She had a 3-month vacation. She already knew what she was going to do. And he was the general manager. And
so he's up there.
He was good looking, and he had green eyes. He was a ladies' man.
Yeah.
And he had his company car was a Cadillac. Homie was coming in style.
Chilling.
Yeah.
Owns it.
But that was very disrespectful.
Yeah. Dang.
But yeah, I was a stickler like that. Going back to like I charged her $22.95. I was like, no, I'm not. If it was a different manager, they would let it slide. No.
Yeah.
That was like you're going against company policy. We just talked about it like last week's meeting.
Okay.
And you're already here testing me. Not on my watch.